This is Bob Hall. He's the inventor of the most successful sports car in history, the Mazda Miata.
Thank you, Jimmy. And look, I'm back and I'm semi-official.
We're gonna get his take on failed concept cars to find out why none of these ever got made. And the first one is from Mazda.
Huh? That's gotta be the one I did.
Did you make this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Uh-oh. Let's go to that first car.
Meet Mazda's answer to
Oh, God.
Hydrogen rotary engine.
The HRX.
RX concept.
So,
By many to be an ideal fuel.
did you...
Excuse me.
Makes the car capable.
Bob will be back. This doesn't look good.
Is it over yet?
So, did you do this?
No, I was not in the room when it happened. This was done in Japan, and we were working on the latest 323 wheel covers. We considered it a blessing, but the problem was, of course, there is a guilt by association aspect of it, and I think that one problem we all had with it that we knew would impact us is we had all designed cars with wheels, taillights, and headlights, none of which was right on that car.
I mean, the taillights look like they're floating on like a wing/spoiler.
Now, there was an impossible to build rear window on it. If you tried to build that rear window, the scrappage rate would probably be like 134%.
Yeah, the complexity on that glass looks insane.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, the
It's
headlights.
so much plastic.
Really?
It was
Oh, that's gonna haze
Yeah,
immediately.
Well, first of all, it's a concept car. Okay.
Right.
And the other thing is, disregarding the difficulty in producing glass with compound curvature like that, it would weigh as much as another car.
It would, and I mean, already it's a small car. This guy in it, I mean, he looks massive in it. I do like the mirrors. The mirrors are pretty cool.
I'm glad there's something on it you like.
Yeah.
Disregarding the way it looks, I'm dead serious about this. It had a couple of problems. The range was only about 120 miles.
And this was a hydrogen rotary engine.
Well, hydrogen, you don't even need to worry about rotary in that case, because then where's your local hydrogen station you'd stop out, particularly in 1991 when the car was done.
Yeah, there's none.
So it would be a great car if you had, nowhere to go and all day to get there. I seriously doubt that anybody thought that car, as we see it there, was going to go into production. At least I hope not. If they did, I'd love to try those drugs they're using. Pretty colors.
So what's your take, Bob? Put it into production or straight to hell?
No, I think it's a great car for a museum.
Got it.
Okay.
Let's go into the next concept car then.
Absolutely. My eyes.
Oh God.
Hold on.
No.
I got to push them back in their sockets.
That is that a 4-spoke steering wheel?
Who cares? It's using the windshield that's a rear window from 1958
my
Mercury.
Look at the transmission tunnel.
Look at the seat color
I know,
combination. This was done by blind people.
Yeah, I am not about this.
This, first of all, it strikes me in two areas. One, it looks like something that my brother and I used to do when we were 5 years old with car magazines or ads in Life and Time, and we'd cut the bits of cars out and we'd paste them together to make a new car. It looks like they actually pulled it off.
Yeah, they did it in real life.
Not quite as well as we did, but it has that look of something that was done by some fashionable haute couture designer to make a dress for someone that you couldn't walk around in or move in, but gosh, it was such a statement.
I think we can both agree that this one has got to go straight to hell.
No, I think even the devil would reject it.
All right, how about we get to the next concept?
Please, quickly, anything.
Let's get away from this.
Anything.
Next one.
We're stoked to have Allstate as Donut's official insurance partner. With Allstate, the best rate for you is a rate based on you. Because we all know there's a right way to
make a U-turn.
And the speed limit is definitely not.
Faster!
So why would you pay a rate based on?
So here's the thing about drifting. You can do it fast, you can do it slow.
Don't be like them. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and get a rate based on you. To get started, click the link below.
Oh.
Massive.
Contain yourself. Bob, come back.
I'm sorry. I was overwhelmed.
I like this a lot. Imperial. Wait, I know someone with an Imperial. Let me go get him.
Okay.
I think you're gonna like this.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Encased yet three-dimensional.
What?
Yeah.
Is that a 300C?
22-inch chrome wheel.
Wait for it.
And the tall, stately stance all evoking.
What's that say right there? It says Imperial. Is that the predecessor for the 300C? Looks very Bentley, Rolls-Royce
It
like.
looks so cool.
Those wheels, eventually we would have a 300C wheel that's like that.
I wonder if they did some market testing or market research. Imperial just didn't have the same range to it anymore.
They'd have to. You sure wouldn't want to drop one of those without about figuring out how deep the water was.
I don't think it's an indignity. I like it.
I mean, look, maybe they were trying to go for the Escalade kind of market, maybe like a big car.
For a Texas landlord.
I got to take a slightly different view. I think the car is cool. I think it's way cool. But I look at it and now understanding more about the time, because the problem is the primary badge, Chrysler, probably didn't have the strength to support moving up like that.
Yeah.
Brands have this ability to support little things standing on their shoulders. When Toyota started the project that became Lexus, that started in 1975.
Wow.
And there was a recognition that Toyota wasn't a strong enough brand to do a premium on top.
Wow.
Nissan never did that study. So when they launched Infiniti, the Nissan brand didn't have the strength to support Infiniti the same way. It launched about the same time as Lexus, had a product range that was perhaps in some respects better. You got to remember that ES250 was in fact just a Camry with a rebody. So maybe Chrysler understood that the brand couldn't support the Imperial. It is cool. The problem I have with the front is it's very slightly generic.
It's a little Grand Theft Auto 4 for
It
me.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Nolan, Bob, what do we think? Should we put it into production or straight to hell?
Let's send it to production, dude.
Yeah.
Screw it.
All right. I'll get out of here.
Okay.
All right.
No, don't.
Bob, no, don't get lost. Bob, there's
Well, that's, that looks like a Tesla.
Looks like some of the parts didn't fit right. They got the trunk closed. It didn't
Yeah.
look very big, did it? That car in its own way is somewhat disturbing to me because the entire concept of concept cars started with a Buick. Harley Earl, who was the first head of General Motors design, back when it was called Art and Color, built this car called the Buick Y-Job. And the Y-Job came out in 38, and it had no running boards. It was just a jump like nobody saw. But they didn't promote it heavily till after World War II. And in fact, Harley Earl used it as his personal company car for years.
Whoa.
And I think it's a great looking car. And the one thing it has kind of in common is kind of sort of the grille.
So this is definitely a fall from grace, though, you would say, from Buick.
Well, I mean, I could see why they Buick started doing SUVs. It's easier to do those without messing them up as bad. That's
Oh,
Earl,
that
that's
looks
Earl
cool.
in the car.
That is so cool.
And it was the first concept car ever built.
Wow. I like that a lot.
And you could drive it. Had a Buick Straight 8.
Yeah.
It was a Buick Super underneath.
That's so cool.
It had power windows. It had a power folding top with a metal cover.
And this is 1938.
1938. It also had power steering
Yeah, that's very ahead of its time.
with a bloody Buick Inline 8 that weighed as much as 2 Teslas. It's probably a good idea to have it. Yeah, that's not only a Tesla and a half.
So, Bob,
Yeah.
are we gonna make this car into production, or are we sending it straight to hell?
I think the only job left for that is tie Photoshopped out.
All right, next car.
Let's have another one, please. Quickly. My stomach.
Quick, he needs more cars. What? It's a Cybertruck.
No, it's not. Yeah, didn't it say this?
I've never seen this.
Nice shot of 700 horses, isn't it?
Bob, what do you think of this?
When that thing came out, I have to admit, I was quite impressed by it. That was a neat bit of work in the engineering, the design. I've never been a huge fan of this sharp edge stuff. I can imagine to when this came out, though, young Elon probably had a stiffy that lasts for weeks. What? Thinking to himself, what a great truck that'd make. It's very much a creature of its time. The thing is, with a vehicle like this, it was a concept, and I wonder how seriously Aston Martin considered building it. You gotta remember, at the time, Aston Martin, which traditionally built these classical front engine rear drive Grand Touring cars, everybody knew and they had a market all to themselves. This was territory where Lamborghini and Ferrari had been staking it out for a while. This is not a thing I would consider putrid by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
Particularly in the context of its day.
All right, Bob, I feel like we both agree this should have been put into production.
It should be put into production in 1982.
Yeah. How about we get to the next car?
Yeah, please.
By the end of 1997, Mazda had sold over 200,000 Miatas in the US alone. That same year, Dodge attempted to take the Miata head-on with the Copperhead.
Yeah.
Whoa. Ew.
What happened to the front end?
It's got a Viper steering wheel.
Yeah, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
Okay.
The old Dodge parts bin. I wonder if this has...
I wonder how much the parts bin was. I wonder if they took one of the V10s, and cut it in half for it.
I wonder if it has...
Slant 5. Yeah.
I wonder if it has the 6-lug wheels.
We can tell here.
Yep.
No, I won't. Don't say yet.
1, 2, 3.
We've got to see it from the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, it has 5.
Didn't I ever teach you how to spell son? No. Grandson? Sorry.
I'm surprised because the Vipers all had 6-lug. I do like the side profile.
And it's got some nice sculpturing and such, and it's a vehicle of its time. the front looks like they've got a good set of turn indicators on it, but where are the headlights?
Not very driver focused. I feel like you have one tachometer, you have the tachometer in front of you, and then the speedometer and all your other gauges
Well, there
in the
were people that argue that's all you need. I cannot make a full evaluation because I haven't seen its ass yet.
Ooh.
It's like they were trying to keep a Dodge theme as the story was told by the Viper. Mm-hmm. And you could argue that might not be a bad thing.
To me, this looks like a SEMA car. Like this just looks like a body kit company came in and took a Viper and totally reshaped it.
It does to me for another reason too, is that when you build a real car, the gap between the taillight and the contact area of the bumper looks like it would be not within American regulations because you can't have an accident where the taillights get smashed out.
Yeah.
Should we put it into production or should we put it straight to hell?
Well, production, it strikes me it's an NFW project, and going straight to hell, it's so small and light, it might not make it all the way there. So instead, why don't we send it to Biafra?
All right, on to the next concept car.
Please, something new.
The Copperhead wasn't the only car Dodge conceived to dethrone Bob's masterpiece. They tried again in 2007 with a car that has a familiar name.
What is that?
Ralph! Oh, it was the demon.
What?
I thought it was Ralph. I guess there are demons best left forgotten.
It looks grotesque. It looks like an NC Miata and a Audi TT and a Porsche Boxster.
I'm
All
going to be
got into bed one night. And this is the love child.
Jimmy, I'm sorry. I'm going to call you doctor. You need glasses. I don't see anything Miata on that except I see mirrors and wheels. The proportion is, shall I say, awkward? It's crap. It's like it was trying to be an Audi TT while trying to be a Miata, while trying to be a Viper, and while actually being disposable. The fenders look like they came off a 53 Chevrolet pickup truck. Mm-hmm. Don't immediately bump into my mind as something that's sporty. The taillights look like they came off a sedan. That's okay. Some sedans have better taillights than some sports cars. I just look at it and it was a sports car done by people, probably a bunch of designers who don't do sports cars.
So should this have gone into production or straight to hell?
I think it should be carefully disassembled and the parts sent in one of Elon Musk's rockets. And now it is time to see the next beautiful concept car.
Car makers today are still trying their hand to make the next Miata. This next car is the Toyota SFR, and it's a two-seater weighing in at 2,160 pounds, driven by a 1.5-liter inline-4, making 128 horsepower with 109 foot-pounds of torque. Just last week, news broke that Toyota is probably going to put it into production, so let's take a look at this.
Looks like the demon.
Yeah, it looks exactly like the demon. Here's your winner, Bob. Look how good that looks. I like it a lot. You don't?
It's free country, yeah.
Yeah. What? Bob, you're not a fan of this? I think it looks really cool.
It's a rival to the Miata in the exact same way that a Fiat 500 was. And I'm not saying I dislike the car. Philosophically, it's a neat idea. It fits with my personal guidance of less is more. It has one problem from my point of view that keeps it from even getting consideration with my Miata. The top don't come off. And the gaping schnoz, to me, it makes it look like an econo car. It takes away any appeal in terms of sportiness. Toyota, I gotta tell you a funny story about Toyota. The high school I went to in Japan fed the university a huge amount of people in engineering and planning. And most of my classmates from Japanese class ended up going to work at Toyota. And I was referred to once at a reunion as the traitor because I was working at Mazda.
You went to Mazda.
The fascinating thing is that Toyota's philosophy on cars is interesting. When they do something that they don't have in the system, and it may have changed, but it used to be within 2 product cycles. And the 3rd product cycle begins, they are number 1 in the segment. Here, at least, they've got a segment where, what's the rival? Maybe it's sporty in an environment that is occupied solely by SUVs. That doesn't mean it's sporty. I actually admire Toyota for going for something that makes a point of having not a lot of horsepower. I hope it's fun to drive. With all of the people using these small LED headlights, I would be looking at trying to come up with an LED light array that filled that entire area. And maybe it looks like someone's eyes after they get kicked in the balls. But the thing is, with the lamps getting smaller, going with something that fills the space and perhaps is a little more conformal would be unique. And I like things that are a little different. I say that a lot because I'm so weird looking.
Bob, I don't think you're weird looking. Okay, maybe you're a little weird looking. All right, Bob, so should we get this car or should we send it straight to hell?
I think we should get it and give it a chance.
Let's head on over to the next concept car.
Anything, please, anything!
Our next car was Ford's attempt to explicitly appeal to 21-year-old car buyers.
They didn't want me. Okay, see ya.
Ford even admitted they included 21 in the name, the Ford 21C, so 21-year-olds would think it was fun for them. Should we take a look?
What? What?
I remember that.
Oh,
I thought it was
seats turn.
There's the one-spoke steering wheel.
The one-spoke steering wheel's back.
But it's glued to the dashboard. Okay.
What? Oh my goodness.
You've ever seen this?
I don't remember seeing this.
I remember it when it was new, and there was some stuff on I thought was really kind of cool for a concept car, totally unsuited to production. One of my favorites was the pull-out luggage locker.
Yeah, that looks cool.
I liked that it was so weirdly proportioned, but here's the thing I got to point out. I'm 116 years old. I was totally out of the target audience, and I didn't look at it as a 21-year-old would. I looked at it as a design thing that I thought had some absolutely fascinating things in it. The symmetry was kind of neat because it wasn't like other cars. And if I looked at this as something sitting as an entry-level car in the market, modified so it could actually be produced with things like a conventional trunk lid, the non-pivoting seats, I think it'd be a great idea. This is not the sort of thing I would expect from Ford because it is, in some respects, pushing the envelope. And then in other areas, it's pushed the envelope right down into the shredder. Designing a car for young people is pretty easy because there's a lot of youth and a lot of energy in design departments. The hardest part is taking your geriatric management and getting them to accept it. In some car companies, design departments are usually pretty good, okay? But once you get into corporate management, there are some people who I've worked with in the industry who think that you guys are professionals, you know what you're talking about. If you think it's good, we'll do it. Then there are other ones who interpret it as if I like it, it's good.
So, Bob, are we putting it into production or is it going to hell?
I think this is one that we need to hold it back a grade. It needs to go back to school.
All right, should we head over to the next car?
Yeah, sure, why not? What else we got to do, huh?
Most concepts never make it into production. This next concept car made a huge splash in 2014, but was ultimately abandoned. What I want to know is why. Bob, let's take a look at the 2014 Nissan IDX, because it's a very cool car. Oh, that's cool. Nismo. So what do you think of this thing?
When that thing came out, I really liked it. The fake BRE 510, I thought did it no favors. The so-called production model they had, I thought actually looked really cool. And that's one of those cars that I suspect, if at that point in time it had been done by Toyota, if it had been done by Mazda, it would have probably been built. But it was Nissan. It was one of those things that I actually thought was way cool and should have been built, but they didn't ask me. The biggest problem I can find with that car, Nissan management.
To overcome a corporation with a design like this, and they already had the 370Z at that time, there's no real need to make another sports car.
This car is a classic example of something wasted on the company management.
All right, Bob, so we both agree we should have gotten this car.
Absolutely, and some other car companies should try something similar.
All right, well, on that disappointment, let's go to the next concept car.
And here's our next exciting concept car, just waiting for all of you.
This next car from 2003 was also meant as a demonstration of engineering prowess and featured a massive V16 engine making 1,000 horsepower and 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. Let's take a look.
I think this thing's so weird looking.
Again,
I like the engine a lot.
And Cadillac had a record. Cadillac built a V16.
A long time ago.
But they built V8s, 12s, and 16s all at the same time. This thing, I remember I saw it up at Pebble. It's like way cool.
I like it a lot. I love the hood opening up on the side is just so cool.
That's a neat looking car. I wish this had kind of made it into production. What's it like in person? Is it really long?
Yeah, it's quite sizable. I thought it was way cool. And again, it was totally suitable for Cadillac, okay, because of Cadillac's experience with these V16s they did in late 20s and 30s.
So there's no way you can really make a V16 right now. There's no way.
I would strongly suspect that the engine was the most expensive part. In a situation like this, you figure they probably built 2 or 3, maybe as many as 5 engines.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's to make sure you had one that if it had to run, you have one that will run all the time. And of course, then taking this thing into production, you have emissions you have to do, which would be an expensive process. Crash testing, I strongly suspect that a production one would look rather different in the schnoz because you need more offset from the lights and the grille. But having said that, I still think it would have been a neat thing for Cadillac to do, to draw a line in the sand and say, here's where we are.
Yeah.
All right, so should we put it into production or straight to hell?
No, they probably should have built this one, if nothing else, to kick back from the very expensive Bentleys and
You're right.
Rolls Royces, BMW. Yeah.
Put it into production, Cadillac.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. I gotta tell you.
That is a utilitarian looking, oh my, wow. It's got just a wheel that drops down.
Yeah, when you need that extra wheel. Well, I don't know when that would be, but when you need it, okay, it's there.
I mean, it's got bucket seats ready to go.
I like the 1950s rocket taillights.
That's a lot of coolers. Turbo 4.5 V8, that's cool.
Franco Sparrow, yes, a great guy. True genius.
Hey, we're talking about the pizza company, right?
No relation.
Okay.
Pizza from these people, I'd probably pass on.
There's a lot to take in on this. So you said this guy does strange designs.
He does strange everything. Let's be honest. Okay, the man is the backbone of the Swiss auto industry.
Okay.
More tumbleweeds. Okay. No, sorry.
There is no Swiss auto industry.
he did stuff like he did these replica Lola T70s.
Oh, that's cool.
He did these replica BMW 328s. You know, we've been going progressively into more powerful drugs. Whatever he's taking is legal in Switzerland, which is why he's there.
So would you say you're on board with this car? Do you like it? Do you not?
I'm kind of on board with this.
So you're sticking with you don't like SUVs? Because this is an SUV, I would say.
That makes an SUV appealing to me.
Well, let's get on to the next concept car. Whoa, oh gosh. Green paint, is that slime? It's okay, I've seen these clips before this. I kind of like this thing. It's the most 80s, 90s car I've ever seen. Look at those 5-point harnesses. People can easily get in and out of them. I like the taillights though. It's got clam shell hood, that's cool.
A shell hood with a General Motors 4-cylinder engine.
Yep. Is that the Halo Warthog? That's what it looks like.
The Warthog's a little better looking.
Yeah, but that's why I kind of like it, because it looks very utilitarian, like you can take it anywhere.
Let's say this thing got built.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say there are only 2 cars on the planet you can buy. Mm-hmm. This and a Miata.
I'm buying a Miata.
Bye, Pontiac. Oh, wait, they're already gone. So Buick was tough enough, it could fight off a tie like that. This, on the other hand, I think the 1-2 punch delivered with this and the Aztec, there was no hope. This is a classic one that I used to refer to at Mazda as the answer to the question no one asked.
Who wanted this? I mean, I think it's cool because I think
active young people. Yeah. This is just, if we sent this to hell, the devil would send it back.
All right, let's go to the next concept car. Ooh, yep. Oh. Looks so good. Yeah, I really like the look of that.
That's really cool. No door handles. What do you think of that?
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. I like that. It had 4 things about it I didn't care for. One was at each corner of the car. Mm-hmm. The black wheel. I'm sorry. You go to all the work to design a wheel and you make it black. Mm-hmm. You go pay extra for +1 and you don't see the bigger wheel because everything's all black. I'm not a fan of them. That's me. It's personal taste.
I like the turbo blade kind of look. Looks really sharp. I do agree. I think it would look better as like a gunmetal gray.
Something with contrast. Yeah. Okay. And of course, I have a personal sadness. It has a roof.
それは人馬一体美しいマツダデザインの源となります。
ごめん、ちょっと待って。ボブ様、純米というの意味は何ですか？
これもね、本当にマツダのスポーツカーじゃないよ。あれね、人馬体入ってますよ。人馬体はすごくね、英語でなんていうね、ホースとライダーね、入ってますよ。一緒にね、一人のなんとかね、ヒューマンと、マシーンね、いいじゃないねあれ。
Yeah, I agree with Bob. If you want to see Bob take on some of the most controversial Miatas from TikTok, make sure to click the link here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments below what we should show Bob next.
May I say something to all our guests?
Yeah, sure.
ごきげんよう。さようなら。
Bye, guys.